And we are back. We have Tim Scroggs on the left playing Dredge versus Daniel D'Amato. Yes, the same one as from the booth. He is on the right playing Ad Nauseum. We are in round number 2, and both players won their first match. What do you think of this matchup, Brian?
Cancer?
Possibly.
So it looks like we may have our camera backwards here. Our labels.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So,
I will update that as you will.
So Tim's going to lead off with a wooded foothills here, leading into a stomping ground, probably into an insolent neonate, would be my guess, as that's the normal Dredge start if they have a great 7. It looks like they
Faithless Looting.
Faithless Looting is also good, but they prefer to have the neonate on turn 1, just for the simple fact that it's a little bit easier to facilitate the Dredge.
Is that it's draw 1, discard 1?
It's discard 1, then draw 1.
Oh, okay. Alright, I got
So they get to discard their Dredger first.
That makes sense.
And it's not a tap ability either.
You sack it.
It's a sack ability.
Yeah. Here's the Faithless Looting. So he's going to draw 2 and then discard 2.
Hopefully he's able to discard 2 Dredgers. So Tim's graveyard's going to be kind of splayed a little bit differently. Just to...
For the ease of commentary, so we can see what's going on. So he discarded a Stinkweed Imp.
And the Spellskite?
I want to say that's a Bad Moon, but I don't think it's Bad Moon.
I'm pretty sure it's not Bad Moon, but it would be kind of cool to have a bunch of 3/3s.
Yeah. And Bad Moon was time shifted, so it is legal.
Yeah, but I highly doubt that the Dredge deck is playing Bad Moon.
Serum Visions for Mr. Diamond. It does have a lot of black creatures. We'll probably see what it is here.
Well, they don't play Bridge from Below in their deck, so
no zombies, but
no zombies.
Stinkweed Imp's black. He gets +1/+1.
Yeah, Bloodghast is also.
Yeah.
All right, so
it is different arts. Okay,
yeah.
So Life from the Loam, Golgari Thug, Insolent Neonate, Copperland Gorge, Godless Shrine. What is the white for?
The white is for Rally the Peasants.
Okay.
Which is the flashback spell that gives your creatures +2/+0.
Yep. That's in the Eternal Masters draft format.
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
From Innistrad.
Yep.
And then
it's a strong limited card.
So he's pulling out his prized amalgam to show that it's been triggered.
Yep. He may have went to Instep and announced the trigger. He does have okay. So
he's just announcing it off of the Narcomoeba
that
entering.
That's going to happen. Yep. Okay.
Yep, okay.
So Dakmor Salvage in play.
So his land base is gonna look a little bit weird, obviously, or his battlefield on his side of the board is going to look a little bit odd.
Mr. D'Amato is going to play a Temple of Enlightenment and scry a Lotus to the bottom, which means he's probably set on mana and he's just looking for a business.
Or just trying to live long enough.
Yeah. He may be looking for one of his not die effects.
So it looks like there was another prized amalgam in that, as well as a Bloodghast. If Tim has the 3rd land, he'll be able to go ahead and get that other amalgam back. Battle for 4, bring D'Amato down to 16. And looks like just a pass of the turn back? No, okay.
So Steeman's taking Mr. Scroggs down to 15.
Yep. That's going to trigger the Bloodghast if he remembers.
Looks like he missed it.
It looks like he did miss it. Alright, so he's going to flash back to Faithless Looting.
This is not in Tim's deck. This is his brother's deck that he looks like he's just testing out for tonight.
Just said, hey, you're not playing, I want to play.
Yeah. So he's going to Dredge the Stinkweed Imp, hit all the creatures. He's got 2 more cards to turn over. This is Dredge 5, not Dredge 3.
Yep. And they're just verifying that he did do that. Okay.
So Thug and Blood Crypt. No, this is the second
Dredge.
Yep. Second Dredge off another
Yep,
imp.
and then he's going to go ahead and just discard those 2 cards.
Yep.
So, looks like just a passing of the turn.
I think this matchup is what SCG Live used to refer to as 2 ships passing in the night.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of doing their own thing. Not really.
two non-interactive decks trying to kill each other.
Right.
So,
So Diamato's able to use his life total as a complete resource here, as he has Angel's Graces. It looks like he's just getting really badly flooded in this particular game.
he's looking at a gemstone mines, which he's going to ship to the bottom. He's seeing a lot of mana. Maybe he's just missing the ad nauseum because he has an Angel's Grace. He has enough mana. Just looking for an ad nauseum.
Right, and possibly even a second Angel's Grace, just in case Tim gets a little bit crazy here.
He may keep that or a Phyrexian on life.
So there's two more prize amalgams that are going to be triggered at the end of turn. He's just showing that he did recognize that there was a trigger for them.
Mm-hmm.
And as he got the Narcomoeba off of his Dredge from his Stinkweed Imp. And he's going to battle for 4, bringing Daniel down to 12.
3 more turns.
Actually, that clock actually changes completely now.
Because of the other amalgams.
Right. So this is actually a 1-turn clock now.
Well, actually, he's just going to have 10 in play. 10 damage in play, right?
So he remembered the land.
So now it's next turn he's dead. Yeah, has lethal. He'll have lethal on board now. Ooh, 3 blood guests.
Yep.
Call that overkill.
So Diamato is going to have to use a
Spirit Guide in order to win on this turn. Or no, because he has to play an Angel's Grace and an Ad Nauseam, so it looks like he's just dead.
So he has to have an Angel's Grace here.
And he also only has 1 black in play, and Ad Nauseam is 3 and 2 black, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so it looks like he's just dead here.
So he's not quite dead, but he's...
Is he going to jump check Tim to make sure he remembers the attack step?
Yes. But he's going to Angel's Grace first, obviously.
Yeah, to get himself another draw step. But then he needs 2 more pieces.
Right. I think he has the Ad Nauseam in hand.
So now he's just looking for land drops?
I believe so. Untapped mana sources is what I believe is what he's looking for. So he's deciding to put this land on the bottom as well. I believe that was a land.
So all 3 of his scries so far have been mana sources.
Correct.
Okay, so dredging the imp, hitting a Narcomoeba, Conflagrate.
Now the Conflagrate won't kill him if he Angel's Graces.
Yeah, which he'll have to not die.
Right, and here's the last prized amalgam.
We're seeing 4-ofs here, almost.
Yeah, so Tim's got a bunch of playsets here. Probably even has the playsets of all of his lands for the most part.
I've had some good dredges.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen sometimes where it doesn't work out this way.
So here's Angel's Grace.
Yep, I'm now good to 1. Now, Diamato may have an Anticipate here. He's a big fan of having the Anticipate in this particular deck, which may allow him to try to get...
He has 1 Spirit Guide.
Right. So he needs an untapped land that doesn't deal him damage, and another Angel's Grace. I believe he has a Gaia Reach Sanctum, or Sanitarium, in his hand.
And he does have an Ad Nauseam. So another Angel's Grace.
So there's a hard cast in Narcomoeba. So Tim's like, I still have all these.
Yeah, I still have you dead. And now I still have you more dead. Alright.
Now, Tim forgot the prized amalgam, but
that's fine, because he remembered to cast that Narcomoeba. Alright, so draw, and... Well,
no? Okay.
I don't know what gives him... The sleight of hand isn't a redraw, right? Because you need all your mana.
It gives him... It feigns another turn.
If he draws an Angel's Grace to just fog a turn.
Correct. But
then he'll have to draw a 3rd Angel's Grace to win.
Right.
Because Phyrexian Unlife isn't going to be good enough. Because it's too expensive. But, I've seen people... I've seen rips better than that, so we'll see what happens.
Right.
So there's the Gaia Reach Sanitarium, like you said. So, and every land drop he plays is one less Spirit Guide he needs. So on his next turn, if he does draw it,
he just wins.
Yeah, because he already has the Spirit Guide in his hand. So if he draws another one, So do you cast the? Do you just go? Oh, he doesn't have
so
any more
he's-
cantrips.
So he's gonna let him go ahead and get that amalgam. Like he's like, yeah, I missed it. It's
That's fine.
okay.
It's F and M,
So he's gonna dredge the
and it
loam.
also just doesn't matter.
Correct.
Doesn't matter if you have 20 or 22. If you get to deal damage, I'm dead.
Right. If Diamato had a second, it's so tough here.
All right, so here's Conflagrate.
I'm going to discard my hand, which may not be the wisest thing. I'm going to discard all these dredgers. Okay.
So Angel's Grace in response. And then Tim probably just kicks it back here. And
No.
Daniel has a draw step. All right, now.
I want to flash back some more stuff.
Okay, I mean, that's fair.
I'm going to count my library, see how much I can afford to dredge.
I mean, you don't have any interaction for Angel's Grace or Phyrexian non-life, so all you're really doing
now, does
dredging
the
there
Phyrexian Unlife just give him another turn?
No, it any damage that is dealt to you is dealt in the form of poison counters.
But after you go to 0. So I think he'll go to a negative life total.
Yeah. So actually, I think the Unlife probably just doesn't do anything with that big a board.
That it may just now that Tim has drawn the second Conflagrate.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, this may be interesting here. Daniel is on the. I believe Tim only has 1 or 2 cards left in his library.
Mm-hmm. Dry him out with the Sanitarium.
Yep.
What I was saying there is I don't like just dredging there because you already have lethal and you don't have any interaction to draw, so you should
Right.
probably just be passing back the turn.
So here's another Scry. He's going to bottom that really quickly.
Yep. It's not what I need. Send it to the bottom.
Pass the turn.
Does he have another Angel's Grace?
I don't think he does. So Tim's going to draw.
How many cards ish are left?
I believe there's 1 left in Tim's deck.
And
So here's a Conflagrate for 1.
so he'd have to Sanitarium twice though to kill him.
So if he draws an Angel's Grace here,
yeah,
then he just wins.
then he gets to untap and activate again.
Right. And that
All
is.
right, and that is not what happened. That would have been our first Best of Four Horsemen live moment, though.
I believe so. Like,
yeah, I would have. All right, so Tim Scroggs is up a game with Dredge over Daniel Diamato on the Ad Nauseum deck. Yeah.
Living had a little bit of technical difficulty.
Boom. Back.
We're back. Yeah, I think that probably would have been a great best of moment if
he drew the Angel's Grace there to not die, then untap and activate Gaia Reach Sanitarium
For the win.
For the win. Yeah, that would have been pretty great. So I think I'm not totally familiar with this matchup, but I think it's probably very draw dependent. Whichever one has the faster kill,
right.
which I think it could be either deck, depending on what they draw. I'm not sure what kind of interactions do they have in their sideboard for each other, or are they not even going to try to interact?
So Daniel's probably going to bring in his darknesses.
Yep.
He may bring in his ley lines. I highly doubt that.
The white ley line?
Correct.
Yeah. It stops Conflagrate, but is that really worth like 4 slots in your deck?
I don't think so. So I think he's just going to bring in the 3 darknesses that he has in his sideboard. And
Does the Dredge deck typically play like Thought Seizes or Inquisitions in the board or anything? Duresses? Or...
They do play some number of Thoughtseize or Inquisition, sometimes a combination of both.
And if Tim's playing that, he's definitely boarding it in. So if Daniel anticipates that, maybe he'll bring in Leyline.
Right, and then in which case, if it becomes does Tim decide to bring in his Nature's Claims?
Right. So when you first said that he may or may not bring in Leyline, my mind went straight to Leyline of the Void, and I'm like, if he has Leyline of the Void, I'm pretty sure he brings it in.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel Diamato has that.
No,
I think
he probably doesn't play that card.
But I think he does have Relic of Progenitus.
Which is definitely a card he would want to bring in this matchup.
Now, I could be mistaken, as it's been a while since I've seen all of... Daniel's going to recount his sideboard, so he's bringing out the Pact of Negations. Mm-hmm. That seems like the correct choice.
Yeah.
So it looks like Daniel also has Silence, which doesn't really do anything here.
Nope. Because a lot of these creatures are going to enter the battlefield via triggered abilities.
Right.
Not via casting, although we did see an
Now, I don't know. I don't believe Daniel has a Grafdigger's Cage. He may.
Mm-hmm.
Which may just cause Tim to just bring in extra things like... may bring in his Ancient Grudges just in case. Ancient Grudges also hits the Pentad Prisms, hits the Lotus Blooms. So, it hits some other things that,
Yeah, and I've seen Artifact Disruption used to slow down the Ad Nauseum deck a lot.
Right. Makes them use their Blooms or their Pentad Prisms before they want to.
Yeah. Just float them into nothing.
Exactly. So, it's a okay strategy. I don't think that it's a strategy that I want to be on at all times in this particular matchup. But what do I know as far as... I've never played the Dredge deck. I have played the Adnaz deck. The Adnaz deck is a little difficult to play at times.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not have a very good night of playing it when I did play it.
Spirit Guide.
Phyrexian Unlife, Gyreach Sanitarium, Gemstone Mine.
No,
Spirit Guide, Lotus Bloom, Spirit Guide.
Alright, so Daniel's probably going to ship this back.
I mean, you have the you have a Gemstone Mine, so you have blue mana. Okay, I mean that's probably right. You want to have some Spirit Guides to draw when you add Nauseum, so you can cast your Lightning Storm.
Like, good thing there's not a Cabal Therapy in this format.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I think I'd like this format a little more with Cabal Therapy.
I also would like it with Cabal Therapy.
You know what else? With a Veteran Explorer as well.
You know what? I could see Veteran Explorer being okay in the format. It may actually end up being too good at some points.
Yeah, I mean, if it's too good, they'll just ban it, and that'll be okay.
I'm in the camp of we should have Commander Product legal in Modern.
That probably won't ever happen.
I agree, but I would like to play, Council's Judgment in...
Council's Judgment would be pretty good in this format.
Prison would like it a lot.
It's just like a Maelstrom Pulse for white decks.
Yeah. Doesn't hit all the copies, but,
Yeah, I mean, it gives you that utility, though.
Prison would make use of it quite a lot.
Oh, you have that card I didn't expect you to have that answers my things. Well, it's gone now.
Yeah.
I vote for that.
Would you also like to vote for this, or would you like to vote for something else?
I'll vote for this. Well, that was a mistake.
I wonder how many times that actually happened, like when the card first came out.
I've seen it happen at least twice. So Serum Visions, Ad Nauseum.
A Lotus Bloom is what I saw. Looks like he capped and he scried to the bottom.
Yep.
So here's a Lotus Bloom.
Suspend. 3, right?
3. Yep.
So 3 time counters.
There we go. 3 time counters. Gemstone Mine. Oh, nope. Just going to go ahead and scry.
Yep. Keep the Nihil Spellbomb on top.
Okay, so that's what it is that he has. So he doesn't have the relics today. He has the Nihil Spellbomb.
Which is great because he's a combo deck and he wants to dig through his deck and its interaction.
Right. And it doesn't blow up his own graveyard.
Yep.
So
Bloodstained Mire, crack. Mr. Scroggs is down to 19.
Possibly going down to 17.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we'll see if he has the Faithless Looting or the Insolent Neonate. So he
Mountain.
just goes and gets the Mountain.
Which I imagine means he has a turn 1 play, otherwise he'd probably just put a shock into play tapped.
Right. Not a fan of Tim's particular choice of lands for basics, but...
I like that mountain.
I would say it's the best full art mountain like that.
I like that one. Or I like the one that's like a cliffside a lot too.
From the BSD and regular or Zendikar mountains. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like at first I thought they were okay, like when there wasn't a whole lot of them, and then there was one in every single pack of BFZ and Oath of the Gatewatch.
I don't know if I like that one better or the one that's like a cliffside.
So Faithless Looting, draw 2, discard 2, Stinkweed Imp, and a Life from the Loam. A time counter is going to be removed from the Lotus Bloom. There's an Nihil Spellbomb. There's the Gemstone Mine. It's going to come into play with 3 counters.
Mining counters?
I believe that is what they are called.
That'd be a good trivia. Like, what type of counter does this card have?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times it's just like, oh, they're charge counters or
Charge counters are pretty common. Obviously, loyalty counters,
right.
+1/+1 counters, -1/-1 counters. But like some of the random cards, like Gemstone Mine.
Like the Gemstone Caverns comes in with a luck counter.
Yeah.
They are 3 mining counters.
Small thing here. If you're gonna cast the spell bomb and then hold up black, shouldn't you cast it with the Gemstone Mine? No, wait a minute. Does Gemstone Mine tap for colorless without removing the
it
counter?
does not.
Okay, never mind. Then that's correct. That's correct. My B.
So,
Scroggs is gonna fall down to 17.
yep. He's going to shock himself. He's probably going to play the Life from the Loam that he has in his hand, that he just dredged back.
He has 1 target currently, but still.
Nope, okay.
No, he's not. He's just gonna play it, kick it back. Okay. I think at least.
There's Simian Spirit Guide. Here comes the Serum Visions.
Yep.
Daniel's just kind of in the market here for lands, I believe.
Does he has an ad nauseum, right?
I believe so.
So he got a sleight of hand, which is not bad, and he's looking at Gaia Reach Sanitarium and a Seacrum Coast.
Right. So it looks like he's actually just digging for a Angel's Grace
and mana because his hand is.
Well, so the Lotus Bloom is going to come off, right?
Oh yeah, because he has the Lotus Bloom. So yeah, he should have enough mana next turn. He just needs one of his not die effects.
Right.
Preferably Angel's Grace.
I think you keep the Gaia Reach Sanitarium on top here. I could be wrong. Oh, he's going to bottom both.
If he's just looking to win next turn, he probably just bottoms both.
Right.
Alright, so.
He's going to crack and blow that up.
Yep, and he's going to draw. And it's a Serum Vision. So he has 2 cantrips in hand, so he's not in a bad position, especially considering Tim has no threats and no real graveyard.
Right, and so like I said, there's the...
But he does have that Ancient Grudge to flash back to blow up the Lotus Bloom if Daniel doesn't have the win next turn.
Correct.
And he could also blow it up.
Well, he just uses green.
Okay. So what Tim could have done is flashback the Ancient Grudge during Diamato's upkeep or draw step.
Yep.
Yeah, that would have been a very powerful play. But then again, then Tim doesn't get to do anything else really.
Right. So,
well, no, because he does have red, so he still could have done this. You're right.
So he's just going to kind of. Tim's trying to establish a board here.
And he's going to say, if you have me next turn, you have me.
Yep.
Which currently Daniel does not.
Okay. So.
Alright, kick it back. Comes off suspend. I have Black Lotus.
I now have Black Lotus. I now have a Seacrum Coast.
Which will come into play untapped.
So he's going to slide a hand.
Okay.
So now Diamato is literally just looking for Angel's Grace.
Pentap Prison and Temple of Enlightenment.
Yep.
Or Deceit.
So Tim has another Ancient Grudge in his hand.
Which
a Insolent Neonate, it looks like, and another Catharic Reunion.
I think it's a Copperline Gorge.
Okay. So, Scry.
I think that was an Angel's Grace.
Alright, so... Oh, I think he has one in his hand.
An Angel's Grace?
I could be wrong. Serum Visions.
Yep.
Okay. So, he's drawing...
Yeah, it was an Angel's Grace that was on top. Problem is, he's going to most likely lose this Lotus here.
But he's got the Pentad Prism, which helps.
Yeah.
Now, if Tim decides to do this during the upkeep, well, then that's it.
What do you think about just cracking your Lotus there to play the Pentad Prison?
It gives you 3 of one color.
Uh,
just like a regular Black Lotus would.
Mm-hmm. It is Black Lotus just with Suspend 3.
Correct.
Yeah. Still fixed Black Lotus.
Fixed is a relative term.
Like Lion's Eye Diamond is a fixed Black Lotus.
Again, fixed is a relative term. In this particular. Okay.
Not good enough
so
to be banned.
Daniel's pretty happy right now, as Tim hasn't hit anything off of these.
And he's also tapped his green.
Again. And I'm sure Daniel has realized that very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm. So we may be going to a game 3 here. Players should keep in mind they've used half their clock.
Tim may have a green source to play also, though. It's
And I think he's just realized
that he's tapped his green. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, he has the Copperline Gorge to play, but it will come into play tap since he didn't play it on his last turn.
Right.
Okay,
So I'm going to show you. So they're going to shake on that. Go to game 3. I just show you like, hey.
Yeah.
I've got it.
Let's save some time. Let's go straight to game 3. All right. So Diamato's going to tie it up at 1-1. He's playing Ad Nauseum. His opponent, Mr. Scroggs, is on Dredge. If you're just tuning in, I'm Ryan O'Loughlin. With me is Ryan Wolf, and we're broadcasting our weekly Modern F&M from our Morgantown location of Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming.
Now, we also play standard F&M. However, the attendance for that is a little bit lower, so we typically go with our modern event.
We do stream standard on occasion, though. We're also looking to maybe add a draft F&M to our events and hold it later in the evening, so that it'll give players who play in standard and modern a chance to play a couple rounds, and then if they're not doing great, possibly drop. We're talking about hosting a draft F&M at like 8 or maybe even later than that. But if you're interested, follow our Facebook page or join our group, Team Four Horsemen MTG. That's the best way to stay up on events in the area, Four Horsemen events in the area.
And if you guys are interested in us maybe streaming something else other than modern, just let us know at our Facebook page, either at the Team Four Horsemen MTG or at our main page at Four Horsemen Comics.
You can also tweet at us
Facebook.
at Four Horsemen Comics.
And Instagram.
Yep. We have all of those things. But if you're in the area...
No Snapchat yet.
No Snapchat yet. I'm not thinking we're looking to break into Snapchat. Not right now.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm having enough trouble managing the other 3. Not to mention Twitch and YouTube and yeah.
We're getting there, though.
Yeah, we're working on it. But if you're in the Morgantown area, we have a couple great events going on tomorrow. We do have a Grand Prix trial for Grand Prix Beijing, if you happen to be attending Beijing. If not, and you just want to get some Planeswalker points or play some Standard, come down at 12 noon. There's a $10 entry fee. We do have cash prizes based on attendance. And we also have a $10 Modern Win-A-Box at 6 p.m. That's not our typical price for Win-A-Boxes. That is a promotional price. We're doing a few $10 Win-A-Boxes here and there to spark some interest. So definitely come and take advantage of that. And Tim Scroggs has played a Copperline Gorge and cast Faithless Loading. Gorge.
It was good to see that they both kept 7 here.
Yeah.
Daniel looks like he has a decently strong hand. I believe I saw him flash a Phyrexian Unlife, which eliminates the need for having the Angel's Grace and that for his Adnos. It also slows down Tim's damage portion a little bit. So Tim still hasn't found a Dredger yet.
Yep. Oh, there's the Thug.
There's the Thug. And I believe he missed I can't tell what the first card next to the first Faithless Looting was, but I believe that was a Bloodghast.
He does have... So it looks like it's Faithless Looting, Bloodghast, Prized Amalgam. Yeah. So
And Daniel's letting him know after the fact, hey, you missed that.
Yeah.
All right, so here comes a Pentad Prism from Daniel D'Amato.
And kick it back. Put some charge counters, I believe, on there.
They are charge counters. They're Sunburst counters.
Sunburst counters, that's right.
Which has a very interesting interaction if you have Trinisphere.
Mm-hmm.
Since it'll cost 3, he can put 3 different colors into it and then get 3 counters for it. I remember the first time that happened to me, I was like, oh.
It's like if your opponent has Thalia in play and you cast Painful Truth, you can do it for 4 different colors and draw 4 cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When that happened, I still think that Trinisphere is good against the Adnos deck, but it makes
all their cantrips cost 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
It costs the
Angel's Grace cost 3.
So they have to have even more mana.
Yeah.
And that means they have to play more lands out of their deck, which gives you...
And when the Lotus Bloom comes off, they have to pay 3
right,
for it.
So...
My God, I hate it when my Ancestral Visions come off suspend and there's a Trinisphere in play.
That good old mud matchup.
Ugh. It's terrible.
Alright, so here comes the Phyrexian Unlife, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yep. So now Daniel's just looking for an Adnos. Oh, he has one.
Yep.
So, okay.
Tim has nature's claims he can draw, though, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he does have some interaction for the enchantment. We've talked a lot about the interaction he has for Dan's artifacts, not so much for enchantment.
Right, but this is the first game that Tim has seen the Phyrexian Unlife.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if he would have brought the nature's claims in.
He is familiar with his deck somewhat, though, because it's almost the only thing that Daniel plays aside from when he borrows Kiki Cord.
Right.
So,
Daniel did ask me if he could play Grixis Delver on camera against him, and I said no because there is Underground Seas in that deck.
Yeah, Underground Seas are not legal in this format, unfortunately.
It'd be a lot cooler if they were.
So Mr. Diamato's at 4 poison.
No, so it's actual damage until
it's at 0.
yes.
Okay, well he didn't update his die, so I was just
Right.
I guess I got confused. So he is at 16.
Correct.
We're gonna throw him under the bus.
So then once he goes to 0,
Then it'll deal damages if they have poison.
Correct.
Yeah. Alright, there's an amalgam.
which is why I think that was an out in the previous game, game 1.
But he was already at 1, and Tim had like
Right.
12 power in play.
Well,
though.
so that damage happens at once. That'll bring him to negative life. And then the next time,
I'm not sure that that's how it would work, but maybe. It's not intuitive.
so Daniel is going to show the Adnos,
And that's 2-1 for Mr. Diamato.
and then he had an Angel's Grace off the top.
Okay, so we have 18 minutes left on our clock.